Jeff? Jeff, go to YouTube and see if I have a broadcast. I'm trying OBS. And I wrote right on it. What? I just use OBS. Oh, the broadcast station. It's absolutely free. You don't have any hours to go on. Nobody does. It's with everybody, not just me. Nobody gets notification. So, you have the bell clicked on?
On.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so tell me. I'm wondering, how clear is this on YouTube?
It's as clear as it looks to you. That's the way it looks to me.
Can you see everything? But thing is, I need to learn how to zoom in and out. I know my microphone's working because it's just perfect. Do I have to use my Logitech camera zoomer? Let's just check, guys. Good morning. Hi, guys. Oh, it's perfect. Oh my God, yay, because I was using StreamYard, and StreamYard only gives you 20 hours a month. So I was going to go live today and finish working on my quilt, but I only have less than an hour left to go live, and then it doesn't reset till October 18th. So I thought, I just came back, I just started going live, and here I am, only allowed to go live at so long. So let me know. Oh, this does work. Okay. Okay, we are so good. Even my Logitech thing works. Oh, I'm pumped. I don't have to pay for this. Oh, this is awesome. And I can see my chat because OBS automatically brings up a chat for YouTube. So I don't have to do anything. This is way better than StreamYard. Gosh, I don't even know why I ever went. Thank you, June. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you, both of you, for being here to help me, because I sent Jeff to go on YouTube to see if it actually worked. And it did. I'm super pumped. There was no way in hell I wanted to pay. Look at this. Everything works on here. This is awesome. It's very clear. Oh, I'm so excited. Because oh, you ladies, I know Hazel, you live way on the other side of the world from me, so I know you're later in the day. I don't know about June, but here it's only 5:55 a.m. and I'm trying to figure out how I could go live. So, Jeff, I even have people here.
I know. I can see and I can hear you just fine.
And is it nice and clear on your computer too?
Mm-hmm.
Because I noticed the StreamYard ones, all my videos, if you go watch the replays, they're blurry.
Oh.
They're not super clear. Yes, 5:56 p.m. You're in Australia. You're so lucky, Hazel. I always wanted to be visiting Australia and get myself a little Joey. I need a Joey. Can you send me a Joey? Hazel said hi, Jeff. Now, the thing is I don't know how the moderators work for this. I don't know if you can even add people to your stream, which is fine. I don't care if I can't. I haven't got that far in technology because I'm really dumb at this stuff. I'm serious. I need my son, which he lives in Vancouver. He figures everything out. He knows how to do everything. He knows how to figure everything out. I don't know how to figure nothing out. I don't know how to add people in here. And I'm not about to mess around with any of the settings because I'm scared I might screw this up. So I am super pumped that it's working. Oh, Hazel, you should come to Canada for a visit. I can't fly. I'm actually absolutely paranoid to get on an airplane. The last time I was on an airplane, I had to take Ativan, which is a narcotic. So, and that didn't help me. I can't stay calm on a plane. I'm actually a real idiot. Airplanes and me don't get along. Not at all. But yeah. June, I'll show you the quilt I've been working on. So let me just move my computer out of the way now. I just wanted to make sure everything worked. And I could read chat. Okay. I'm finishing up a quilt I started. It's a quilt along. That was through Fat Quarter Shop. Oops. So I did 2 extra rows. So I'm doing 2 rows more than the pattern called for because it was too small or it was square, and I don't like square quilts.
Do you have a mini screwdriver?
Yeah. What size?
Flathead.
Oh, flathead?
Mm-hmm.
Sure do.
Something came off in the bathroom.
What?
The towel hanger came off in the bathroom.
Oh. Yeah, so it's this one here. Let me move my coffee because I really don't want to get that on this quilt. So this row here, see this one? This row here and this row here are extras. So what I did is I just went to their last year's quilt along, and this is the actual quilt here. It's square. I don't want a square quilt. I don't like square quilts. So this is the actual quilt. Yeah, here's where I have to add. So yeah, if this was the way I would let this finish, it would be completely square. So I'm adding 2 extra rows to it. So there's that. My favorite is this butterfly. I love the butterfly block. And there's the rest of them. So this was all Social Lights 2 up to here. These blocks here. So I'm adding 2 rows and making it rectangled. It is a beautiful quilt. Oh, thanks, Hazel. Yeah. So I'm just, oh shoot, I pulled my thread out of my machine and I haven't even sewed anything yet. So it's that one. So I've got 3 blocks left to finish this. And then I will add it to this row here at the top. And then I'll attach this to the quilt and then I'll have 2 extra rows. No. Okay. Yes and no. June. Yes and no, June. Let me explain. On Fat Quarter Shop, they have this, which is, let me zoom up just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Oops. Okay. All right. So here, it's called Social Lights 2. So these are the blocks that's going to make a completely square quilt. And I didn't like that. So if you go to Fat Quarter Shop, you can go type in Socialites, spelt exactly like this. Socialites 2, quilt along. You can download all these patterns for free. Every single pattern, every step is for free. Every single one of these blocks I've made. Now, when I got to the last block, which is block 24, I got it mixed in here. I don't know why I did this. I should have just left these in order. Block 24 was the last block for that quilt. So I went back to their Socialites 1, because they have Socialites 1 and Socialites 2. I went and picked out 10 blocks to add 2 more rows to my quilt. So these are their last year's blocks, the ones I'm working on now. And Socialites 2 is their this year's blocks. So it's kind of like the Moda fabric, or yeah. It's called Moda Blockheads. It's a Blockheads quilt along. They have it every year. And right now they're in season 5. And you get all the patterns. They come out once a week. You get all of them for free. You don't pay for nothing. And that's how this is. Free of charge from Fat Quarter Shop. So today, and then this border, or whatever you call this, the sashings. This is not a Fat Quarter Shop design. It's actually a Corey Yoder. It's a Corey Yoder design that she made around a 6-inch block. I didn't like their finishing for this. And these are all my own fabrics. Actually, this is Lori Holt fabric. Except for this is Robert Kaufman fabric, this piece here. But majority of this is Lori Holt. I bought her Fat Quarter bundle called Granny Chic. Oh, it was beautiful. But anyway, this here is not part of the Socialites. This is a Corey Yoder pattern to fit your 6-inch blocks in this layout. So I'll show you an example of a lady that made hers. And she sent me the instructions of how to make her. This is her quilt. Well, there, see? And she shows you how to do, told me how to make all of this to go between all the blocks. So you get this effect. So I wrote down her instructions as she told me to do them. I wrote them down. And then I made them with scrap fabric to see if I could actually make them. And they are the actual size. And they worked out perfect. According to her instructions, they were perfect. Because up here it says, this was actually her comment. Ruby Lockwood, I modified the setting for my 6-inch blocks as follows. And she gave me all the instructions right in a, what do you call it? Facebook comment. She put it all in there. So I copied, pasted, and printed it out right away because it didn't, comments on Facebook get lost very quickly. So yeah, that's what I did. And if you ever want to make this and you want this layout, see the purple is not Fat Quarter layout. The only thing is they're blocks. That's them. And that's the layout we choose. And I chose black and white. And the reason I chose black and white is because it makes these pop. It just makes all these colors pop. So it doesn't matter probably whatever color you would use, fabric you would use, it would just make it pop. Beautiful. This lady did hers, as you can see, it's in a purple and a colored, it's a spotted background. If you look, see her background? It's a purpley shimmery stuff, and then her background fabrics are spotted. So she didn't even use pure white. And it looks stunning. So yeah, that's what I did. Just to make my life a little more fun, because I don't like square quilts. Yes, they do, don't they? Yeah, you gotta try this. And you know what's really good about Fat Quarter Shop and their patterns that they give you is they give you, for both Socialites 1 and 2, they give you the option of 3-inch, 6-inch, or 9-inch blocks. See? You get 3-inch block cutting instructions, 6-inch, 9-inch, and throughout the entire making of the block, they give you it in parentheses. They give you, so the 3-inch has to be 3.5-inch finished. This has to be 6.5, and then the 9-inch has to be 9.5. So they give you all the, it's all in parentheses here. They want you, so I'm making 6-inch, so when I make this block, it should be 2.5 inches. If you're making the 3-inch, it should be 1 inch. So they give you everything. You don't even have to worry about that. And that is on both Socialites. It is fun. It's beautiful. And you know, if you don't like some of these blocks, you can go to Socialite ones and you can pick out their blocks there and mix and match them. I really don't know, because they do 5 across. There's a block missing here, and I really don't know even how their layout went, because I didn't really do it. Oh, no, Helen, come on. You wouldn't be scared. I know quilting and making blocks, piecing blocks is intimidating for some people who have never sewn. And yes, it can be a challenge when you don't understand what a lot of things are. So HST, half square triangle, and you'll be like, what's that? These are all little things that are flying geese or stuff like this. Believe me, I didn't know any of this when I started. I had to learn all of this. And it's not as hard as it looks. And if you had instructions like this, it can't get any easier than that. Honestly. This one was a challenge, I'll admit. This one was a lot of little tiny pieces I worked with in this one. Made this one yesterday, but I got through it. And the most important thing of making blocks this small is squaring up your pieces. And when they give you an instruction and tell you that this finished unit should be 2.5 inches, take the time to check that that little unit there is actually 2.5 inches after you've sewed all these pieces together. To me, that's what I find it's the most annoying thing to do, is squaring up pieces, but it's so worth it in the end, because you will end up with a nice perfect block like that. I didn't lose any of my points because I stayed within the 1/4 inch seam. I never lost my points on any of these sides either. So if you look here, I never lost any of my points in my diamond. And that's another thing too, is when you're sewing, if you go more than a 1/4 inch, you're going to go across part of your diamond and your point, and you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it very easily. And that's by having this 1/4 inch seam. And I have it on my machine, and I follow this faithfully, because when I'm working with stuff with points, you don't want to cut your points off. If that makes any sense. See? You got to stay within that 1/4 inch. And quilting is all about 1/4 inch seams. So, and this one was a little bit of a challenge too, making these little tiny half square triangles, but they were worth it. Yes, I starch everything. The only thing I don't starch on a quilt is my backing. It's just way too big of a piece to starch. And when I make stuff, when I know I'm going to start a project and most of my stuff is in big pieces. So like, say the background, that's going to be a big chunk of fabric that you need for a quilt. I usually cut them into 1 yard pieces, and then I starch that 1 yard, and then I hang it up in my bathroom and let it dry. But I cut them just so they're more manageable for me, because I starch in my bathroom. And then I just hang everything up on hangers with clothespins, hang it onto the rod of the shower curtain rod, and just let everything dry. and it dries pretty quick. So yes, I do starch, and I starch with this. Believe me, I have a good stock of Niagara Heavy Finish. This is faultless starch. I just give it a good spray on the front. I flip it over, spray. Hi, Robert. Spray it all over the back. Yes, it's. Don't you find it way easier to sew if you starch? I do. I just find it so. I find less fraying, as you can see, less fraying on any of my edges. The only time you're going to get a lot of fraying is what I did yesterday, because I had to rip out a row. Is I was using a lint brush on this, and yeah, it frayed my edges. So I got a little overhang piece there, and I'm just going to trim it off. I don't like that one there. But yeah, this is turning out gorgeous. So I am happy to let you guys know that I can go live today. Imagine that. And everything works on this computer. All I did was plug it in like it said to do. It said to just plug in your camera. Tell them what camera it is. It'll pick it up and start going live. And that's all I did. And that's why I did a test video. Because there is no limit. I can stay live here for up to 12 hours. YouTube only allows you to stay live for 12 hours. Hi, Spooky Professor. Good morning. It's very early in the morning here. But I was just doing a test video. And then we got into talking. Is a new one? What new one, Robert? What are you talking about? This is a new software program that I'm using. It's called OBS. It's Open Broadcast software, and it's free for anybody. I used to have this. My son showed me how to use this, but then I tried it, and it didn't work for me, but I know I went and messed up settings when I was playing around with my OBS, and then I could never get it to work properly, so I gave up on it. And then I started using StreamYard. And then I paid for StreamYard for 1 year for $240 US, which is way over 300 and something Canadian for me to buy that software. And I used StreamYard for then. And then when I stopped paying for it, because I just thought that was a little ridiculous, it only gives you 20 hours a month. So I went to check yesterday after I did my live stream, and I saw that I had less than an hour left of going live on StreamYard. So I said, screw it. There's got to be a free software. And I thought about OBS, and I said, you know what? You have what? You have OBS, Robert? Is that what you use? Anyway, I pulled up OBS. I downloaded it again. I installed it. It said, let's go live. It came up with the little chat beside the window. I was like, what? It never used to have this chat thing. I used to have to go and bring my chat up. But now it comes up automatically, the chat, when you're live. And it said, let's find your camera. So it found my camera, and and away I went. It was that easy. And now here I am. That's why it gives you even a really nice area to punch in everything you need. Type in everything you need to connect to your YouTube. Yes, Spooky, try it. It's free. It's called OBS broadcasting software. It's free for Windows, Mac, whatever kind of, you can use it on tablet, phone, you can use it on anything. But now it's a little bit different. It's the newer version, and I like it because it says I've been live for 24 minutes and 33 seconds. I could see every time I'm talking, my microphone's working okay. It's, you know, it's just, it's awesome. I'm not going into that high decibels. It's awesome. This is really awesome to have this for free. So goodbye, StreamYard. I probably will never use StreamYard again. And besides, StreamYard gives you that nice little icon up in the top of your video that says StreamYard. Yeah. yeah, that's yeah, try it, Spooky. You know what? You download it, follow the instructions. They want you to connect with your YouTube account, and it says you can close this window because once it connects to your YouTube account, or you can go YouTube, Twitch. God, there's so many platforms that it allows you to go live on. Facebook. You just pick whatever you're going live on. You can do it for gaming. And actually, that's what it came up on as under gaming, because I guess a lot of people use OBS for gaming. Well, I'm not using it for gaming. And yeah, oh, sorry. And it gives you, it comes up, it gives you the wizard, you know, to connect everything properly, and it's just 2 or 3 steps, and you're done. You can go live. That's it. Plug your camera in, and away you go. This is my first cup of coffee. I've been up since 4 o'clock. And I thought, what am I going to do with myself? I can't go live. I only have less than an hour to go. I could be in the middle of a live stream, and StreamYard's going to cut me off and say, you're done, you're 20 hours. So I started researching free software, and all these other ones came up. Streamlabs, what's it called? Streamlabs, all these other streaming ones. But of course, you have to pay for a year. Depends on the kind of camera you have, Spooky. I use Logitech. Let me see. Is there a way for me to capture my desktop? How do you do that? How do you share screen? There has to be a way. Let me see. Window capture. Click OK. Aha! Click OK. So this is what I use because mine is a Logitech. This here, I don't know, can you guys see this? Okay, download the Logitech. Jeff, can you see that? Do you see my Logitech? Okay, this is how I capture, or this is what I use. I use this thing. So I go to advanced, I click on autofocus, and I uncheck that because I don't want autofocus. Like, I don't know how, oh, here we go. I'll make it bigger for you. I don't want autofocus on because it just zooms in and out, in and out, in and out. It's annoying. And then you can make this go bigger, smaller. Oops, I can't do it on there. I have to do it on here. So you can make your screen bigger. You can scroll it smaller. You can, oops, that was too much. And then you could slide it over. But you've got to use the Logitech. See, it's called Logitech Webcam Control. It's a control panel. So that's what you need to use. So let's go back to video capturing. Oh, what did I do? Oh boy. Oh boy. Window capture. How do I get rid of it? Remove. Yes. Okay, so it goes like that. See? I'll figure this all out. Just give me time. But that's the program. It's called Logitech Camera Control. Just go camera settings. Just go to Logitech and look for how people control their zooming in and out. It's done through the software. It's done through the software that's offered buy Logitech. So your camera, if you use Logi, you can use that for any one of your cameras. I have two Logitech cameras. I have this one that's up here, and I have another one down here. And it picks up both of them. It'll pick up whatever Logitech you're using. So if you want to switch back and forth, you just switch. That gives you the option to switch from which camera you're using. It's awesome. It's really, really a good piece. I have it on all my computers because, see, I can scroll. Oops. I can go this far back to where I was originally. I can scroll back out a bit. You see, it gives you, whoops, uh-oh, what did I do? There we go. It gives you all the options to zoom in and out. Because, you know, a lot of people have cameras, and I don't know how they go live with a regular camera. I don't know how to do that. I tried with a video camera. And they have remotes that will zoom their cameras in and out and move them, you know. Ruby, I would like to thank you, as I would never do a pineapple block if it was not for you. Thank you. Oh my God, are you kidding me, Robert? Are you kidding me? I absolutely hate doing that block. Oh my God, are you kidding me, Robert? Don't even thank me, because I so hated doing that, that block. You know, of all the quilting I've done in my life, which I've done a lot, I despise with all my heart and soul that pineapple block. When I made that quilt took me forever because I absolutely could not stand the repetitiveness of that same block over and over and over. Oh my goodness. I was ready to give up on that, but I was bound and determined to finish what I started. But it took me a long time. You love it, Robert? Well, you know what? Every block is not for every person. So you might like something, I might not like it. I personally don't like the pineapple block, and I will never make that again. Never. I don't even know how you could do it. I don't know anyone could do it again. And I made a huge quilt. And actually, Amy James, who is one of my subscribers and is a good friend of mine that's been following me for years and years and years, she bought that quilt from me. When I finished it, I quilted it and I sent it to her. And she purchased it from me. I was like, that's why every once in a while you'll see her throw in that snid remark. How about a pineapple block? I was like, no, let's not even talk about it. Let's not do that. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever again. Yes, we did it together. And I don't know how you could still continue to like it. I don't know, Robert. I just don't know. Not for me. No, thank you. I mean, there is a lot of, let me show you, without banging my computer. There is a lot of foundation papers now out on this social media world, that offers all kinds of blocks. Kid you not. And I pretty much own pretty much all of them. What is this? I have no idea what this is. What is this? Oh, I know. Oh, I know what this is. This was my little bag I never finished. Shoot. And what is this? Another project I never finished. Oh, I know what this is. This is my scrappy thing. My scrappy quilt. Oh, jeez. This is all made with scraps. I give up on that one, too. But there's all kinds of these things. that you can buy now that's um, on the these are called triangles on a row. I have them in all kinds of sizes. This is them here. This is for a 4-inch finished half square triangle. I do not know what I was using these for, but got them all cut out. I was obviously using them for something. Then you have crazy quilt paper. Now, this is pretty cool. This is from Riley Blake. So, what you would do, this is crazy quilt paper. Let's put some glasses on. I'm not even fully awake. All right. You can, step 1, 2, and 3, you would sew a piece of fabric bigger than this piece on this line here. You would put the fabric on the back, and then you would sew the second piece exactly how it shows you here, and then you would sew a third piece. That's pretty cool. This is called 5x5 crazy quilt paper. So it's going to give you a funky finished look to your block, but those are small blocks. Yeah, they tell you how to do it. Cut here second, sew this, sew these two pieces together, then sew it to that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Then you have this one. This one's called Sparkle Star. I've never used this. This came in my Sew Sampler box. This is to make another funky square. I really don't know what this is all papers for this block here. So there's your funky block. Makes 6-inch. See? You're going to get a funky block like that. This one here. Then you got this cake mix recipe, which I know I've used. These give you super tiny half square triangles, and I don't remember. So these are, the cake mix means it comes with 2 different ones. So it came with these and those. They're called cake mix recipe. So it makes all these shapes just by using this paper. I don't know what I was using these for, but this is a 4-inch finished half square triangle, which is nice to have. This one's called Courthouse Steps, which I've never made. Again, you would sew these two together, and you sew them to this piece of paper. You sew them. Yeah, I know what you mean, Albert. So this is called Courthouse Steps. I've never made this one. These are just different size triangles. And then in here, what I've got that I used on this quilt are these. So they tell you you can use these sizes. This is 1-inch finished half square triangles, and this is 2-inch finished half square triangles. In the Socialites too, these are the triangles on a row that they're talking about that you could use, but you don't have to. You could use in your thing. They also show you this little square in a square. So it's a square in a square, but it gives you a perfect, absolute perfect. You can't screw it up. It gives you a perfect one. Then there are 2. There's cake mix recipe. And there's 2 flying geese sizes. This is 1.5 by 3, 1-inch by 2-inch. But these are finished sizes. It tells you 1.5 by 2.5 finished blocks. See, I could have used these in making those. But then, you know, the thing is, you got to cut the fabric a little bit bigger than what I cut normally. And then you're wasting a bit of fabric. So I chose not to use these. I did not use these at all. But this is the sizes that you would be using for the 6.5-inch blocks, which I didn't really use. So, I mean, these are nice because they do give you an absolute perfect. I'll show you. I'll even do an example. I'll show you. This is going to be a 2-inch finished. So instead of taking 2 diagonal pieces of fabric and sewing them together, you're guaranteed you're going to stretch. That is the bias of the fabric. You're going to stretch that fabric. But they show you how to do it a lot easier with this. So I'll show you with one piece. And I'm just tucking in these 2 quilts that I didn't, or my quilt. That's supposed to be a crochet bag that I never made. So let me dig into my scrap bin here and see what I can dig out. Just grab some pieces. I need a piece that's big enough to fit this. Okay, there's nothing in there. I need a nice square piece. Is this big enough? No. Wow. Oh, found one. Okay. I found a piece. So, that's big enough. Let me just zoom in a little bit because I'm way zoomed out. All right. So what you would do is you would cut that. Now I need another piece that's the same size. And of course none of those are. That one's not big enough. Oh, I found one. Wait, maybe. Yes, I did. Found another one. So you need 2 pieces. Is this big enough? Let me see. Oh yeah, just. Okay. This is just out of my scrap bin. Now let me get rid of all this mess. Because it's a mess now. And I do sort out all my scraps into containers once I get a good amount of them. So this is how this works. Let's iron this really quick because I can't sew with this. So for this specific one, I am going to end up with 2, 4, 6, 8 finished half square triangles with just this piece of paper. And every single one of them will be perfect. And I mean perfect. So you basically want to have both your pieces of fabric kind of the same size. So let's just do that. These are not starched, so. But I am going to just give them a little quick press because I can't sew on crappy fabric. Okay. So you always put right sides together. That's how that's going to be. And you're going to put your triangle paper on and make sure it is a little bit bigger. Make sure it's a little bit bigger. And then you just pin it so it doesn't shift on you. And I'm not going to throw these away. I'm going to start saving all my pieces because I noticed a lot of designers that make blocks, they have cut off pieces, they keep them. So now what you would do is you would stitch this on a 1.5 inch stitch. You would use a 1.5 inch stitch. And the reason for that is it's going to make ripping this paper off very easy, and it's not going to tear your stitching. If you use your regular 2.5 inch stitch line, or yeah, the distance between your stitching, if you use the 2.5, you're likely to rip your stitching when you go to rip your paper off. So you're kind of perforating your paper. Just wanted to make sure. So you start anywhere you want. You start you sew on these dotted lines. That's all you do. Just sew away and keep on going. So I sew right off, then I turn it. Stay as straight as possible. Okay, and now you're going to stitch on this inside line here because there's 2 lines. I shouldn't have went off. Oh well, I'll be cutting off every one of these. So I need to only stitch up to there. You can carry it. There. That's it. That's all the sewing that it's going to take me to get 8 half square triangles. And I'm not kidding you. 8 of them. Now I got to move my camera. I'm just taking my pins out. Oops, wrong way. Okay, so here we're going to get 8. Now, it's a good idea to use a ruler. Yes. To cut straight. Normally, especially this part here, normally I would just hack it off. But I am not going to do that. So I line it up there. I make 1 cut. I should have done this on this because it makes it easier to just twirl it around. So let's match this back up. Turn it. Let's cut down this way. You're cutting them in half on both directions. And make sure you stay on that line. Now, line this back up. I shouldn't have pulled it apart. Now I'm going to use a ruler and I'm going to cut on the outside line of this squares. So this one is not quite lined up. Move on over. There we go. So you cut straight down here perfectly. Cut all the way around. You got to make a perfect square. Like that. Make sure that lines up. I should have done this prior to cutting it in half. This is what you need to do first. Is cut around the outside of your block first. I just made myself more work. But you do have to line these up. That was dumb of me. Okay. Now it doesn't matter for me. I don't use a ruler for this part. I just cut straight down there. And now it just gave me 8 half square triangles, which I don't have to cut this way. Look at, and they're perfect. So this would be the perfect size if it said you needed 2-inch, and that's what these are, 2-inch finished. So let's just measure and check. Oh, let's rip off the paper. And this is how easy it is. Just fold it and tear the paper off. Tear it off. Easy peasy. So let's give that a little press. And now let's cut off these dog ears, because those are ugly and they give bulk, unnecessary bulk. So let's see, 2-inch finished, eh? Let's use this. Down here, you measure from that part of the ruler to that, and it is exactly 2 inches all the way around. You don't have to trim it. You don't have to, whatchamacallit, you don't have to square it up, because it should be perfect. And what the thing is you did not sew these two pieces on the bias. So that's why you're going to get a perfect half square triangle. That's the way all of these should be. And it's really easy to tear off this paper, especially if you use a 1.5-inch stitch. So yeah, look at that. Beautiful. That's that. So I am going to keep these because I'm going to be making, it's called a bonus quilt. And if you keep all your little blocks, your little squares, you take all your little scraps, I learned that from Lori Holt. You keep all the pieces that you would cut off of big, like I've always thrown everything out like a dipshit. But if you keep it all, you can make yourself a really nice quilt with all the pieces that you're cutting off and throwing in your trash, that I always do. So I'm going to start getting a container and start holding those. But she also teaches you to take all your scraps, okay? For example, there's a bunch of scraps. These are all leftover pieces. Take them and cut them into 1.5 or 2-inch strips, squares. So what you would do is take all your pieces that are close in this size, like that. This one's a little bigger, so I could get 3.5-inch squares out of that. I could probably get 3.5-inch squares out of this one. And just start cutting out your pieces, cutting them out and sewing them together and put them aside. She makes scrap quilts, but she's got tons of tiny pieces, but they're already sewed. She doesn't have to do that. So another thing I learned from her too was if, okay, say for an example, I'm going to just, for an example, pretend I'm sewing something on my machine. And you know how a lot of people like to use a starting piece, like a scrap of piece of fabric for starting and an ending. For her, she takes 2 little 1.5-inch squares that she has a whole stack of them that she cut out from her scraps. And she sews her 1/4-inch seam on her little 1.5-inch square like this. She's got 2 pieces together. She grabs from her little thing there, and she'll sew her 1/4-inch seam, throw it in a little container, sew all her pieces on her quilt, and then she would end with, she'll grab another one, end with that one, and she'll sew another 2 pieces of 1.5. It's a really good thing to get used to doing. It's just a matter of me getting my, but I have a lot of scraps, guys. I have a lot of scraps. I'm actually just going to throw these in my scrap bin, because I do go through all my scraps. And in my scrap bin, I sort out all the colors. I put them in stacks, and I sort out the sizes of the scraps. And then I put them in all these containers. And like when I made my barn quilt, I used all scraps out of those boxes. I just went into my boxes and they were all pre-sorted. They weren't pre-cut, thank God, because I needed different sizes for the barn quilt. And the whole thing was made with scraps. And that's a lot of scraps, because I'll tell you, I had a lot of scraps. I still have lots of scraps. And over the years, I used to take my scrap bin and just dump it in a garbage bag, because I got sick of looking at it, because I got really lazy and never bothered to go through it, look through it. My friend who is teaching me is working on the courthouse steps. It's beautiful. Yes, 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 June, it is beautiful. Courthouse steps are beautiful. And I don't know, is she working with that paper or is she just doing it freehand? Because you could do it either way. You can even get log cabin quilt foundation paper. Because if you want a precise block, those foundation papers will give you precise. Perfect. A little bit more work, but you're getting a precise size. Exactly the size that you need. And you don't have to square it up or nothing, because it's automatic with the foundation paper. And that's the way the pineapple quilt was. I just could not do it. I could not for the life of me do it ever again. No, ma'am. So anyway, I will be going live a little bit later on. I'm going to get going here because I have chili that I have to... Oh, she's doing it freehand. Well, good on her. Good on her. I'll be going live a little bit later. I got chili I need to get canned because the beans soaked all night. And the chili has to get into the canner. And then I'm going to get that done and out of the way. And then I can come and sit in here and do some more sewing. I really want to get my blocks finished for this. I really, really do. Because it's been long overdue. This is way past. I should have had this done a long, like months ago. But I don't. So here we are. I'm glad this worked out, guys. I'm glad this OBS is working for me. So give it a try, whoever else goes there. And I'll see you in a bit too, June. Bye, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. And thank you. Thank you for helping me get this up and running. Bye. See you in a bit.